Hello everyone. Today we're going to discuss about the fourth pillar, system. And last time we discussed about the third of the eight pillars, economy. Sorry, integrity. And today we're going to discuss about system. Disorder in a man's life, it destroys everything. It destroys his work, his character, and everything around him. Any organization, simple or complex, or even a single man's own private affairs are all built upon a system, and yeah, everything is built upon a system because disorder uh, leads to chaos and chaos leads to destruction. The disorderly man always thinks that he can be careless about things because he thinks that nothing other than the main goal matters, which is not true, because ignoring what is in the middle eventually leads to ruin. And at the end of the day, what is in the middle leads to the quality of the end. Anyone can lead, anyone can reach an end product, but it always depends on how good is that end product. And one can only reach the end if reach to a quality end if there's a quality means quality if they took a quality path through it. And that quality path can only be formed through by making a system, because order uh, lead, uh, leads to creation and preserving things. Meanwhile, disorder leads to demolition and destroying things. Uh, any system contains of four ingredients. Forming a system contains of four ingredients. The very first is readiness. It is the spirit of alertness. How alert are you in the case of an emergency or in the case of a situation? This dilaterings, which basically means procrastination, is something that is extremely fatal to prosperity because it ruins the readiness. A person who always procrastinates their work cannot uh, be alert or immediately react to an emergency situation, because they always procrastinate the normal tasks. They cannot comprehend the stress or the technique to use whenever there's an emergency, which really fatal to their readiness, to their alertness. Next up, we have accuracy, and it is closely allied with self-discipline. Self-discipline, yeah. So accuracy is really tied to self-discipline, and there's a huge population in the world that is really inaccurate, mainly because being accurate requires more effort. So instead of so a huge majority of a huge chunk of the population usually try and procrastinate their work and then make relatively inaccurate attempts at their at their task. Meanwhile, the correct way to do it is spending more time from the beginning without procrastinating and putting in more effort to get to be more accurate. Because at the end of the day, a person always prefers more accurate results than inaccurate results. Yeah, so, some people might ignore the accuracy just because it might save time, but a lot of people really care about accuracy because more accuracy leads to more quality. Next up, we have utility. It is basically the direct result of the method used in one's task or one's work. It's basically a utility basically means a person trying to consider what is the final end and what is the means to reach that final and practical end. Meanwhile, unpractical people try and find shortcuts or try to go through crooked paths to reach the end goal, which ultimately lead to an imperfect end goal, something that is flawed. Or they try and take a new path towards unverifiable theories, something that be careful with this. I'm talking about unverifiable theories, not unexplored. Unexplored usually depends on the person, and unexplored path can refer to a person taking a completely new path that he or she doesn't know and is trying to get into new. Meanwhile, unverifiable path is something that isn't done by anyone, and it is usually always proved wrong beforehand. So it doesn't make sense for it doesn't end well to go through these unverifiable paths. But unpractical people do because they don't know what is the correct path to take, and that's where utility comes into play. Utility means the ability to choose the right path, and one can gain this ability just by researching and by using some sense to putting some thought into the path that they take. And then finally, we have a comprehensiveness. It is the quality of mind which enables a man to to deal with uh, m- more details. It is a quality of mind of a man where he can understand more details. It is kind of the analytical and the synthetic capacity combined. Now, comprehensiveness can just be improved through any sort of some sort of practice or some sort of practice which can only be achieved by forcing your interest onto that topic. If it's natural, then it's all good. But even if you don't have any sort of interest in it, but it's necessary, if you force yourself to it and try and practice and understand what's going on, the comprehensiveness of a man generally and most probably increases. And so that's it for today's fourth pillar, which is system. And tomorrow, next up, we'll talk about the fifth pillar, sympathy. Thank you.